All right, all right, all right. So here we are, hanging out. This is Sunday Night Live. Things that make you go, So welcome. We're here. Looks like Kiernan. Looks like he signed up for night shift. You signed up for night shift. Thanks. Appreciate it. It's great. Anyways, with no more delay, we're just going to hang out. Got a little bit of tapping going in the background. Just going to hang out here. You do what you do. I'll do what I do. And if you have any questions, or usually ends up being a pretty good paced talk. But just hang out and relax. All right, all right, all right. So, if anybody's out there, my wife finally came home. So you might hear my phone ding. That's because she's texting me and talking to me. Usually doesn't ding, but I'll look at it every once in a while. Plus it pops up on here. Sounds kind of like a motorcycle, doesn't it? Yeah, sounds like a motorcycle. Sounds just like a motorcycle to me. All right, all right, all right. Let's see if I can see that. Boom. There it is. You know what? I got something that can, when they sent my wife home from the hospital, I have to give her these med injections once a day. But they pack them in this styrofoam thing. I'm going to check that out. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. You ever do one of those things where you're gonna try something, and then you get all ready, and then you forget, and then you gotta tell you that I'm gonna be right back and go get it? But they send this little styrofoam thing because it's got to be refrigerated or medication. Check this out. I love the sound of styrofoam. I just love the sound of it. That's a cool sound. This right here is so live triggers tonight. This week, I'm going to shoot some wall art. I'm going to shoot some wall art. And the other thing too is, hang on, let me kick off this. And the other thing too is, I want to, some people have a problem, photographers, or I always hear the lens thing, and I always say the same thing, is depends on what you're shooting, what you need. So here tonight, I'm going to do a whole video on this week, maybe for After Dark on Wednesday, but the whole thing is people will shoot portraits or they'll shoot landscapes, but you have different focal lengths. So what they'll do is they'll go, hey, what kind of a lens do you use for portraits when you're shooting portraits? Okay, and basically it's usually an 85 millimeter 1.8 Zeiss lens. Zeiss, it's called a Batis. I call it a badass, but a Zeiss Batis lens. I use that lens because it's minimal distortion with compression. You can use a 50 millimeter. That's pretty close to what our eyes are. But that is a little wider aspect, less compression. It's got compression about like our eyesight does. And I use a 70 to 200 millimeter for portraits. And usually they'll go a 70 to 200. The longer the focal length, the better the compression. The compression is, if you shoot a picture of somebody standing out in the middle of a road, maybe with the Capitol in the background or a building, if you shoot a photo with a wide-angle lens, it shows more of the Capitol, but it's smaller. because of the compression between the subject. So for instance, if you want to shoot somebody and have the moon in the back, and you've got a wide range, a 35mm lens. Now, I'm not saying you can't take portraits with a 35mm lens. I'm just saying this is how you justify the lens length, in my opinion. This is what I do. So if you got a 35mm lens, which is considered a little bit wide, and I'm taking a picture of a friend with the moon in the back, if I get too close, the friend's going to have a really distorted face, and the moon's going to be really small in the back. When you look at it with your eyes, it seems bigger. That's the compression. If I shoot them with an 80, their face is going to not distort. I'm going to fill the frame up a bit, and the moon's going to be a little bit bigger, but it'll still be small. But if I get back and shoot it with a 200mm, even a 2.8, and I frame it and I sit back and I zoom in, that compression pulls the moon in. So the moon will be the actual size I see it. You use that same... Good evening, Julian. I use that same theory when I'm picking a lens to shoot something, to take a picture of something. I'm dealing with that. I'm wanting to work with that compression. I'm making the picture. I'm not just taking it. Anyways, I said good evening to Julian. That's about it. Oh, well, so I'm going to go take some more wall art. When I do love all your videos, man. I'm going to butcher it, but it's another ASM artist. Appreciate it. Genre ASMR? I don't know. I'm not good at this. This is the worst part I am. But I appreciate it. But anyways, when I get commissioned, generally it's to do a entire project. Video, sound. Appreciate it. Thanks. Video, sound, stills. I love stills. I get into it. As a matter of fact, eventually I'll take you guys with me. Eventually I'll take you guys with me because I get out there and it's pretty relaxing. It's pretty cool to hang out there. And I'll point out what I'm doing to you guys. I'm all set up to do this. Genre, got it. Okay, my bad. It's funny when I see some of these names, if my mind's not in the right place, because right now I'm just worried about not breathing like I need a respirator. And I'm making sure everything's running, so my mind's not even there. I'm thinking when I see a name with genre, all right, I gotcha. I'm thinking genie. I hope that makes sense. So, but I gotcha. Appreciate it. Stewie, what's up, Stewie? I know. Daffy Duck the Wizard. That's my man right there. Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck the Wizard. Can I call you DDTW? Hey, Stewie. Yeah, glad to see you out there, man. All right. So this week we're taking, this week I got my wife back. Finally got my wife back Saturday. It's kind of weird. She's back. They took 45 staples out of her back. She's healing up nicely. The infection's gone. But now she's got to gimp around, and I gotta cook for her. I gotta wash clothes. I gotta clean the house. I tell you what, I gotta shop. I'm never taking her for granted again, ever. Because it's crazy. But anyway, so I'm going out to take pictures this week. I am commissioned. Hang on. I am commissioned for a campaign, and I said it earlier, but I'll say, I do video, photography, sound. I love the photography. That's my thing. That's my gig. The stills. The video, when I gotta make myself stand out, because everybody and their mom does video. So I do my own sound effects, my own Foley. So Foley, I make, when you're out filming whatever you're filming, the footsteps don't sound right, so you re-record the footsteps, the chinking sounds, the zipper sounds, the leaves crunching sounds. And over the years, that's made me stand out. So I keep on doing that. Now I take a lot of the stuff I do, these sounds, and I sell them in stock too. So stock video, pictures, and sound. And if any of you want to know, Pond 5. Pond 5's a good place for sound. If you guys are doing sound, to sell sound clips. So, well, anyways, let me pick this thing up here again. So my wife's medication came in this box per courier. Because the infection she has is so dangerous, they wouldn't release her until I received the training and the antibiotic to treat it before they'd let her come home. But I found that when I handle this thing, it gives me tingles. And I thought this would be just awesome sound to use as a sound bed for cool. So probably this week I'll do a whole video on recording this. So I'll do a standard ASMR video. And I'll throw that out there. So what have you guys been up to? Anything? Anything I need to know about? Let me know. Let me know. Have any of you watched one of the After Darks? And what do you think? Too much? Too many videos for the week? Or not enough? Let me know. Let me know. Eat outside for dinner. And if you do you barbecue? Stu, if you barbecue, you can eat outside anytime, bro. I don't know where you're at, Stewie, but the summer here, it becomes the temperature of the sun. All right. I got you guys on here. And you guys know, because I've told you a couple times, that I'm Irish. So I make a mean all right, more videos have been awesome. Genre ASMR. Hey, I'm with you. And the behind the sounds, yeah, I got a lot more coming. My one for tomorrow is what I'm doing the lens thing on. Because I've been in my day job, I get a lot of questions about that. People always going, hey man, you know what? So I'm going to do the lens one for tomorrow. But where was I? Where was I? Oh yeah. So you guys all know I'm Irish. I'm American Irish. But I make a mean corned beef and cabbage. Now, my grandparents were from Ireland. And I always knew that corned beef and cabbage aren't an Irish thing. But boiled ham was, or bacon. But here in America, corned beef and cabbage. So I make this mean corned beef and cabbage. And I'll take it to church things or something, you know. And everybody always goes, man, that is so good. That is so good. What are you doing there? So I was thinking about making a video of this. But I'm going to tell you guys the recipe. So I take a pot, what do they call those? Those big, thick-ass pots. And I put carrots, taters, cabbage in there, and I get it simmering, spices. Then I do mine in a crock pot. I take a beef brisket, and I season it, and I throw it in that crock pot. Now what I'll do is before the vegetables get all the way done, I'll shut it off, drain the water out of it. Then when I do the corned beef, instead of putting water in the crock pot, I fill it with Guinness. Been doing this for years. I fill it with Guinness beer. That cooks for about 8 hours in that Guinness beer. Then I uncover when the meat's done, I uncover the vegetables, and I pour all that beer inside those vegetables with the meat fat in it. And I let those vegetables simmer till they're done. Then I mix them all together. Bam! Try it. You'll like it if you're old enough to drink. If you're not, get your parents to try it. Appreciate their genre. I appreciate it. But my wife's doing pretty good now. Boom. Noted. Stewie got my recipe. I tell you what, man, this is the bomb. Especially soaking in that Guinness. Oh. And it doesn't come out real. It comes out real buttery. It's awesome. Roast beef. Yeah, I can do some. Maybe in one live I'll give you my. I got not a secret recipe, but I got a pretty. Nobody ever does it, but I mean somebody does it, but of doing prime rib. Because if you looked at the price of beef, prime rib is outrageous. When I do prime rib, you can do this with prime rib, and you can do it with any kind of roast tri-tip brisket. Put the oven at 500 degrees. First, let the meat sit out till it comes to room temperature. Cut little holes in it and quarter some jalapenos or habaneros and put in there. Cut some other little holes and put some garlic cloves in there. Bring the stove to 500 degrees. Put kosher salt liberally all around it. Throw it in there. Leave it in there for 5 minutes per pound. After it's done the 5 minutes, shut the oven off. Don't open the door. That's important, not to open the door. Let it sit for 2 hours. Come back and tell me what you think. we're motorcycling again. Yeah, it's fire knowledge, man, but that's the best knowledge, is the ones that is for free. And I love it. I love it when somebody will go, well, let me tell you how to cook. Let me tell you what's a good restaurant. I go, I'm a pro. I mean, look at me. I know about food. Come on. And do any of you watch the Food Network? Because I'm a firm believer. And if you ever notice, the skinny people, I don't think they're very good cooks. Now the fat people, the heavier people that have heavier families, you know they can cook. You know they can. Just saying. Just saying. And the other thing that is super funny is that my wife cooks like gourmet. I mean, really good. Yeah. She cooks like really, really good. But until she met me, she never messed with heat. Now, I like hot stuff. I mean, I take a Scotch bonnet, hot pepper, poke holes in it, and dip it in my coffee to keep people from stealing my coffee. I make an omelet, it's just on fire. But it's funny because my wife, she's from the East Coast, and when I met her, pepper was hot. 30 years later, I go, damn, did you just eat that? Because, I mean, she eats hotter shit than I do. It's crazy how that happens. She kicks back. She eats jalapenos and stuff with me. It's great. Hey, we're around the 41-minute mark. I'm going to break for a couple minutes. I'll be right back. All right. I'm not going anywhere, Stewie. I'm still here. Now I switched software, and I'm using this Camo Studios, and I really like this software. When I go 24-hour live stream here, I'll set the live stream with what we're calling reruns. So 24 hours, reruns will happen with some triggers in the middle to make it more like a radio station. Then with this software, instead of me having to shut one stream off and break in on the other one, I can tap this and then it'll switch the stream over to here. So 9 o'clock on Sunday, I hit the button, it breaks from the recorded stream and comes to this stream, and we do our streaming. And then when I log out for the night, I stop it. It starts the other stream starts again. This software wasn't built for that. It's just with the service I'm using, it just does it. I don't know why. It's pretty cool. That made it really easy for me to, when we do a behind the sounds on Monday comes around, I'll just break into the stream, do the behind the sounds, go back into the old stream, then package up the behind the sounds as a video for the video part of it. But I've been testing this software out, and I really kind of dig it. Pretty soon I'll start using the Stewie, what mic would you recommend recording all sorts of sounds? All right, Stewie. It might not be what you think. This here is a good mic. And this is the Audio-Technica 8022. It's about $400. but I used to have my two, I used to use my two shotgun mics. Now I use those for field recording. Much better. With this in here, I get left, well, I get right and left real easy. It doesn't take up a ton of room on my desk. This was originally a backup mic for my 4025, whatever that number is, the big brother to this one. But this one is beautiful. I said in a video before, if something happened to the big brother of this mic, I would just buy another one of these. I wouldn't buy that other one. This is a good mic for doing stuff like that. I've hung this upside down, this mic, or the big brother. And the big brother's not really a big brother, it's just more expensive. But I've hung this mic upside down, did footsteps, stuff like that. What I do a lot of my sound effects with, I used to do it with a Sennheiser MKH 417, 416, 417, I never can remember. $1,000 microphone, but I sold it, and I bought these Synco D2s, $249 a piece. I can't tell the difference. Now the Sennheiser is waterproof. These aren't. But for a build, they're just as good. And the sound, I think, is just as good. The low end might be a little better on the Sennheiser, but I just crank it up in post-production. And other than that, I would use that for any kind of Foley stuff. Foley would be footsteps. You watch a video, you watch a movie. A lot of times when they do the clothes rumble and stuff, that's recorded after the movie's made, because the mics they're using don't, and then they can tune them in, and sound design can bring them in better. Other than that, I use the Zoom H2 Essential. It's a recorder mic. This thing is the bomb. I get wave sounds with it. It's really good. It's not that noisy. Oh, the Nikon ZF, yeah. I've heard of the Nikon ZF. And it's alright, man. It's not... The ASMR part of this is how I talk. And maybe I'll make some noises. But other than that, it's just hanging out. That's the relaxing hanging out and just bullshitting. That's the ASMR part. So whatever it is, barbecue, cameras, microphones, doesn't matter. And I have 3, 4 Nikons. I don't use them much anymore. I use almost all Sony. Just because of the mirror, they were the first mirrorless I had. Not the first mirrorless, but they were the first time I started was with Sony. So I bought lenses and everything for them, and I adapted my Nikon glass to it. But anyways, microphones. This, I think they're like $197 right now. But it records everything at once. It's shaped kind of like this. But check into that. That would be a nice one. I use that a lot. Zoom H2 Essential. I also use the Zoom H5 Studio, the Zoom H5, the old H5, the Zoom H6. I've been through all of them, and I still use them a lot for field recording, stuff like that. I hope that answered your question. Now the Zoom Studio, not Zoom, Zoom Studio, the H5, the H6, you can use XLR with Phantom Power and plug the Synco mics in. I started using that. I used to have a Zoom F5 recorder, and I was going to go to the F6, but I decided I wanted to go smaller, so I started using the handy recorders. Now, if you want large diaphragm condenser microphones, they make expensive ones. The Lewitt LCT 440 Pure on up, beautiful mics, low self noise, beautiful. I might even bring them in here and fire them up one time. Maybe next Sunday. Let you guys check them out. All right. So, hey, you guys, I'm going to take one more quick break for about 2-3 minutes. I got to go check my wife. She's texting me. Listen to the sounds here. I'm going to run a couple ads. I'll be back in a minute. All right, all right, all right. So, wife's doing good. So, Stewie, we were talking about mics, and I used to be a mic snob, a real mic snob. And I got into stuff like this. I started getting, as I got older, I started getting lazier. Not lazier, just when you get old, you don't give a shit anymore. So I put this together. I've had it on here a couple times. And this is my Rode into G1. And I took the Zoom recorder, which shoots 32-bit float. Hey, who's got the chips up there? And I spin it right on here. And there you go. What this does is gives me a pistol grip. So when I want to take doors opening and closing, people walking, I have another one set up with the Cincos. People walking. Lately, somebody catching a football. When they catch the football, and it's all done through this recorder, which is a Zoom H1 XLR, 32-bit float. It's got pretty good amps on it, and it gets stuff, even ASMR. I've used it for ASMR stuff. That works out really good, especially for video game stuff. You're talking about the football. And there's a huge market in video game stuff. This is Blue Tack. Let's get some sounds on this. This is Blue Tack. It's just a putty. The putty. I just glitch. These are contact microphones. Contact microphones. AKGs. I did stuff with for video games with these, which is really interesting because I did sounds of an escalator, door sounds, sliding door sounds. For a game I did a toilet flushing with these and sold to a game. I got 2 of these. These here are contact mics, but they're made to tune a guitar, and they're about $10. I use these all the time. All the time. these are the the Hollyland A1s. I think they're $39 now. Great. But if you're doing stuff for games, video games, I use this all the time. This is the Zoom H2 Essential 32-bit float. It's got 4 microphones in there. This thing is the bomb. I got the little case with it. I got the little furry dude. My little dead cat. Boom. He's got a little hat. But yeah, that's a couple. And to be really honest with you, I've used super expensive equipment and not so expensive equipment. And I do just as good with the not so expensive equipment. I am a commercial photographer. I shoot corporate videos, safety videos for companies, commercial advertisement. I do weddings, but it's somebody who has. I don't advertise as a wedding photographer, but if one of my clients need a wedding done, money's money. I use a D2 shotgun microphone on my camera. I'll mic them up with Hollyland. What are my Hollylands for wireless? Hollyland Lark Max 2s. That's what I use for labs. The recorders I use are the Zoom H5 Studio. And yeah, that's about it. I don't do a lot of weddings because it's just not what I do. But when I do, it's for a client. So, ouch. That was for JJV05. I gotta take all this stuff apart. What I'm in is a whisper room. You hear noise from the outside because I have no audio chain evoked for these. And it's in the middle of my equipment room. And someday I would show you my equipment room, but it is horrible. Because I got so much stuff, I don't know where half this crap came from. And yes, JJ, I do use different mics for different applications. if I'm shooting a wedding, the priest, the guy talking, I'm going to lav mic him. The bride and groom, I'm going to put lav mics on them. When I'm running and gunning around for the toast, I'm going to be using my deity on my camera. Voice acting, I'm saying do a lot. I do a lot of the voiceover for my videos for the safety and the training stuff. I've done a couple advertisements, but voice acting is just not. I stutter and I slur my words quite a bit. So sometimes you'll see me stop, and it's because I'm avoiding the stutter. So yeah, voice acting's kind of out. I don't think I'd have very much fun doing it. I do the voiceovers, like I said, for work, and I do them, but I don't like doing them. If I can get somebody else to do them, I push it off on them. Now. It's funny because this is really directional, and I forgot I'm not on that one. I got to move my bench. All right. So JJ, yeah, I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff. Just voice acting. I'm like everybody else. I hate the way I sound. But I like interacting with you guys and doing these videos. But I can't stand the way I sound. And it's funny because I work for a global company that loves to hear me do voiceovers and laugh when I say, I hate the way I sound. And they can't figure it out either, but hey, most people don't like it. That makes sense. But yeah, it would be a great thing for some people. It's just, I don't think I'm into it. I think I'm rambling, aren't I? I keep going on and going on. And then all of a sudden I say doo-doo. Crazy. And a animated character that would fit my personality. I haven't seen too many animated bikers. Because that's when you see me, and believe me, I don't ride motorcycle anymore, but I look like a biker. I put a patch on my eye, and because my grandson says I look like a pirate, but There we go. I could be a pirate. I could be a pirate. Those triggers in back are lids. Lids up at different jars and stuff. How did I get into ASMR? That's a long story, man, and I think I've even got a video on it. But let me shorten it up here. I was hit by a car in 1988, and I couldn't sleep for, let's say, 20, 30 years. And a friend of mine turned me on to ASMR. I checked on it, and I thought it was weird, really weird. And I never looked at it again. But then because I'm into marketing and stuff, they wanted me to do some research on ASMR videos after IKEA did an ASMR commercial. And I did that. Well, push comes to shove. Pretty soon I was sleeping. I got into ASMR. Yeah, I discovered ASMR. Let me think. 2020 I started doing this, but I wasn't serious about it, this video, this channel. 2018, probably 2018. Yeah. Early part of 2018 I started listening, and I could fall asleep. Then I started really analyzing it and realizing that sometimes it's just hearing somebody talking. Sometimes it's just being part of something that will relax you. And I got real interested in that. My mom used to watch old Bob paint, Bob Ross. Never thought much about that when I was a kid. But I think earlier somebody said, yeah, how do I react when somebody finds out I do this? Yeah, I don't give a shit. They can think what they want. I have only gotten good feedback when somebody finds out that I do this. How do you... I think I've got a different kind of a ASMR system going on here. This is a hangout, but kind of all of them are hangouts. Kind of, Monday I talk about, usually except for the last couple because my wife's been in the hospital, the last 4. Usually Monday will be about telling you about something. That's kind of like Bob Ross. I'm teaching you something, but you're really listening to me talk. Wednesday's the newest one, and that's because when I pop up and get an idea, I want to share it. And I want to try to share it in a relaxing way. And then hopefully some of you will get inspired and, I tell you, I learned some of the best stuff in the world that I do from people that aren't meaning to tell me about it. And okay. You don't do a lot of traditional triggers. I used to, and I will get back into that. But I wanted to make some place that's 24/7 eventually, and a radio station like atmosphere. So I had somebody comment say, I was telling them I'm making a radio station like atmosphere for ASMR, and they go, well, you're not like a radio station. I go, well, how many ASMR radio stations have you heard? But yeah, and again, if you look at some of my older videos, I do traditional ASMR, but I mean, I want to give you guys something different. I want to, on Cool, we listen to it. I act more like a DJ, kind of, however an ASMR DJ would be. And I guess what I'm getting at is that, I say I do it like a DJ. I'm building a ASMR radio station. I've never heard one. Now, understand, we listen to ASMR together. I will tell you about stuff, how it will eventually end up being all the time is on Cool on Fridays. Well, let's start over. On Sundays, we get together and we bullshit. I come up with ideas. On Monday, Behind the Sounds, I make a video telling you about those ideas, what I'm going to do through the week, how I'm going to do it. After Dark and Wednesday should end up being me doing it with you and explaining a little bit of what I'm doing so that you're actually there with me. Then Cool comes on Friday. Now you're going to listen to the sounds we made together over the week. Kind of. And if you weren't for the other shows, I'm going to explain where I was, what I was doing. So you get the talking ASMR part of it. You get the ambient sound ASMR part of it. Or the trigger. ASMR part of it. Now, hey, listen to that. Hey, where's Stewie? I'm your father, Luke. Join the dark side of the Force, you knob. Anyways, I hope that answered your question. Hey, JJ, I appreciate that. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I don't know how old most of you guys are, but back in the day, we didn't have phones. We had 3 channels on the TV, and we had to be home when the lights, you've heard the story. But what was relaxing was getting together with some buddies and just shooting the shit. That was relaxing. Or going over and hanging out with a buddy and he teaches you something that you really didn't know. or, maybe you wanted to know, but, that's relaxing. Sharing recipes on a Sunday night, that's relaxing. I don't want any hype here. No radio station disc jockey, but I'm building a radio station, and you guys are coming along with me while I do it. So eventually, this will be, like I was saying with this software I'm using, this will be 24 hours. You'll listen to, let's say, reruns. This will play just like TV, just like a radio. They play the same song over and over again. And then on Sunday night, I'll break in. We'll do exactly what we're doing here. Then I'll break out. It goes back to the normal stream. I do that so you have one address to go to. And I just show up. Then Wednesdays, behind this After Dark, I could be hanging out at my favorite coffee shop real late at night. There's one I hang out at. I might hook up, I might jump on my phone and do a live stream right from there. Hey man, check the sound out and share what I'm seeing. Real calm, relaxed. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Then we come back to Friday. Cool becomes a live stream. I jump on. Cool, After Dark, and Behind the Sounds. They'll all be converted to videos. This is the only one that'll stay a live stream. That'll only be a live stream. Because that live stream will be 24/7. You picking up what I'm throwing down? You smelling what I'm stepping in? Let me know. Now let's talk about my favorite ASMR trigger, tapping on foam core. shut this stuff off. You wanted traditional? There you go. Handling noise of this. I love the handling noise. ASMR that I like is slow. I like slow ASMR. A lot easier with this mic than using two shotgun mics. Coming up to about an hour and 30 minutes. Don't forget about Monday Behind the Sounds video. Wednesday After Dark. That's right, After Dark. Hey, we went ear to ear. After Dark. And then I can still go ear to ear and be groovy. And then, of course, Friday Cool. K-E-W-L. The cool spot on your dial. Don't touch that dial. It's got cool on it. Don't forget, next Sunday, we're going to be back here at 9. Now, if you want to help out, become a member. If you want to fuel my alcohol, I'm in a coffee addiction, buy me a coffee. It's been real, and it's been nice. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Had a great conversation. Great conversations tonight. And I appreciate it. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd probably be in prison. I mean, not here. But I appreciate it. And JJ, when you guys tell me some of these things that how it makes you feel, you don't know how much that means to me. That makes it all worth doing this. Now, in 1988, I was hit by a car. I hit a car head on at 65 miles an hour. I was on a motorcycle. Killed me 8 times. 8 times. Fractured my skull. Cut me across my lip. Crushed my left leg. Punctured my lung and busted 4 ribs. I couldn't sleep for a long time after that. That's how I got into ASMR. At first, I wasn't going to make videos for ASMR, but it just happened, and I really like making them. I like hanging out with you guys. I like hanging out with you, bro. That's what I like doing. So as long as you guys will have me, I'll be here. I'm going to start using the request line pretty soon. Real soon. Does live have really bad audio compression? Well, this mic's pretty compressed. This mic's a little compressed, but now it shouldn't be. But anyways, staying relaxed, staying calm. Appreciate you guys being here. It's time for me to sign off. You guys have a great evening. Again, I appreciate you being here.